Hello. It's the white t-shirt crew.
It's the white t-shirt crew. Oh my God. We started talking about something on the Mother Daze and we're like, what do we even talk about? Okay, we're going to start this again. Hello.
We just start all over again.
We're back. We're back.
We're back.
And my face color matches my wall and I'm really self-conscious about it. I'm like, oh my God, it's making me look jaundiced. I look really jaundiced.
No.
I was like, I really do though. Do you see how yellow my skin looks against the yellow in the background?
It doesn't. Well, you're a little pixelated, so really, it's all kind of. It's just I see the cute white T-shirt, and I'm like, I feel like you and I, we really look cute today in our little our get-ups.
Sarah's seen me brush my fringe about 17,000 times because
she's trying to get it flat.
I have this cowlick and it's just so stupid.
Do you ever try blow drying it, like round brushing or like flattening it?
Yes, I do. But even throughout the day, it just kind of bumps back up again. It's really it has a mind of its own.
Wyatt has I think he has the same as you. He has the what do you call that? When it like swirls?
The McDonald's, the cowlick.
Yeah. It's so cute.
It's really cute. Bodhi has my same cowlick.
Permanently, like the hair grows like that.
Up and out. Cute. Yeah. Well, I was told I was never able to have a fringe, but I was like, screw it. I want one. It's my Frotox, free Botox.
Did they do it for the show or did you do it because you wanted it for the show?
I wanted it because I was looking at my face and I started noticing certain things and I was like, oh God, I'm getting Botox curious again. And then I was like,
every time you start shooting a project, I swear, you're like,
to me.
Should I get Botox?
Oh my God, I've held off. I've not touched my face. But then I was like, I know if I get a fringe, it will just cover my lines. It's just because I saw ADR of this job that I did and I looked very concerned in a number of scenes. And I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be happy in this. Like, I don't. Why do I just look concerned? And it's because I've got these like really deep 11s between my eyebrows. And I'm like, oh, that's just such a look of concern. Like she's meant to be like, wee, happy. And then I got it in my head. And when you get something in your head, you're just like, oh my gosh, I could just get even the tiniest bit just to go goodbye, just the tiniest bit. And then I was like, no, I will get a fringe. I will get a fringe.
That's a really good one. Well, I have something. So like I was opposite some actor before, and I remember in a scene with him, I was like, what's I doing with my face? If you can see right here, okay, I always do this like look of concern. And I have it's not an 11 for me. It's like a turn.
I can't see anything.
You can't? Okay, so it's like
you're pixelated. Yeah.
I am. Okay, so there's like one that's a curve and one that's sort of up and down. Yeah.
Okay.
And he like tapped right there and he was like, be careful with this because you're like, you look more upset like than what he's like, just be careful. And I was like,
An actor did that?
Yeah, an actor. He said, just be careful with this because you look more
Is he
upset.
the same? And I was like, was he the same age as you? Or was he older?
No.
Oh my God, that is so random.
And I was like,
I would be forever insecure. Have you ever noticed it since?
I just know that it's there, but I like don't. I know that I do that a lot, but I don't care. Like, I think that's kind of just part of my expression, like what I do. And then, but Tez, have you seen the frownies?
No.
Oh, okay. So look this up. Guys, if you guys have tried frownies, you have to let me know. Okay, so I've watched so many videos of people doing frownies. So you put this thing on at night and you sleep with it. It's like this tape and it holds your face into this like relaxed position. And then you take it off in the morning with like water. But like your skin is like perfect. And apparently it really works. Like I've watched so many of them where I'm like, oh, I just need to order frownies because that of will smooth everything out. And it does the same thing that Botox does, which, you know, I'm no expert. So somebody listening might be like, you're an idiot. But like it's what it does is it sort of freezes it, right? So that at night you're not moving that around and it's not like getting crinkled up and stuff in your sleep. It's just completely holding it like smooth. And then you get up in the morning, you take it off, and apparently it's like so smooth.
Cool. Yeah. It's funny. It's like in my everyday life, I love it and I really enjoy it. But it's just, I was looking at this character and I'm like, oh, she's a Mossman mum who definitely would have a face of Botox. She's married to this surgeon. She's like trying to shapeshift and be this other person. And I was like, she would have like a face that only money could buy. And right now I definitely see she looks so concerned and she's not meant to. So I was like, it's for
Is
acting.
that in a different show or in the show you're doing right now?
No. Right now I can have all the lines I want. Really, I can.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this show I play like a woman. I can't give it too much away, but basically a woman on a mission to discover this mystery. And so did you see, oh my God, I have watched, by the way, I never watch TV because I have 4 children and my life is very full.
What did you watch?
I have become obsessed with the show. It's pretty embarrassing because it came out many years ago and everyone's already like moved on from it, but it's so good. It's called The Mayor of Easttown. Did you watch it?
Oh, I don't think I did.
You need to stop everything and watch it with Eric.
Really?
And then
so
you need
good?
to tell Eric that he's got to get us in a show just like it because
like The Mayor of Easttown. Okay, I don't know that show.
It's called Mayor, like Mare, Mayor of Easttown.
Oh, Mayor.
It stars Kate Winslet and she is unbelievable in this role. Just
Amazing.
like full chills thinking about it. It's so good. So I watched it to prep for the show that I'm doing because there are some similarities between her character and mine. And I flew through it. I flew through this show. It's so good. If anyone needs a recommendation, that I watched, it was fantastic. And then another very surprising performance in something that I just watched again for the show is called The Undoing with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. And Hugh Grant is...
He's a legend.
Unbelievable.
He's
in
so
this
good.
role.
He's so good in everything.
So good. He's so good. And he's charming and so sexy, by the way. I was like, I literally had a sex dream about him. Like the next night, I was like, oh my God, will you be my doctor?
Now we've learned that you don't need to like write him a letter or anything. It's just about
just put it on
now
out
we've
there.
learned from her. Yeah. Sorry, Hugh, just in case. Did you see Paddington? Like Paddington 2?
I didn't. Oh, well, the kids have seen it, but I haven't seen it.
He's so good in it. He's in that.
So
he's so good.
He's so like
hot.
Funny. I'm telling you,
yes. Oh my God.
Like charismatic and sexy and funny. Anyway, he has these sex scenes with this young woman in The Undoing.
Oh my God.
And I literally like, oh my God, it's so hot. I told Mark, I was like, oh, I have such a crush on Hugh Grant. And he was like, Hugh Grant, really? And I was like, yeah. He was like, that's a bit different from Eminem. I was like, yeah, couldn't be more different. There we go.
Mark's I can't compete with that. I can't compete
Hugh
with
Grant's
the age.
a little different from Eminem.
Tattoo-less.
Hi, babe. I was just talking about my crush on Eminem. Oh my God, so sorry. I just got interrupted by someone pretty cool and me, the little true crimey. I'm a little bit fangirling over our next door neighbor, a police detective who just interrupted me. And I do everything in my power not to be like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with true crime. And the police detective that was just at my house, I know all the cases that he's been involved in because I listen to Australian true crime.
Were you like, oh my God, you're famous. I know about this case and this case.
Like some of the cases that he's worked on in Australia. Yeah, I said that to him. I was like, You are famous to me. Anyway, sorry to run off and go talk to my police detective from next door. But yeah, he's such a G. So
anyway,
yeah,
so
back to what
were we talking about? Were you talking about wrinkles?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I'm like, what?
Everyone will be like,
disgusting.
guys, you were just talking about this thing.
But we're like, I literally looked down at my phone for 2 seconds and I read about, and it was about Eminem, by the way.
Else.
Oh, you were
that's
talking
right.
about Eminem and Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
And I looked at my phone and it was like, Eminem is going to announce Barack Obama and Kamala Harris at the,
You just saw that on your phone?
I literally just saw that.
Oh my God.
I looked down after that conversation. I was like, oh, Eminem.
The fact that the phone listens to you is so
I know.
bloody
weird.
scary and weird. I was telling my IBS, I've got a really good poo story to share. I will tell you that. Anyway, I was telling my IBS story to someone yesterday at work. I was like, yeah, and I literally was like shitting out my bum like water. It was crazy. And I was on a safari in Africa and there were lions and she was packing herself laughing. I was like, yes, because I had IBS and, you know, when you got to go, you got to go. And then all of a sudden, like, this morning on Instagram, it's like all these adverts for like help your IBS. Like take these tablets to help. Yeah, lessen the symptoms of IBS. I was like, I don't have IBS anymore. Listen to me, phone. I do not have IBS. Anyway, my poo story.
That kind of thing happens to me when someone starts talking about like some sort of horrible poo incident or IBS or whatever. I start getting a nervous stomach that it's going to happen to me. And then I end up having like, it's like such a weird impact really thing cute. Where I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom.
That's really cute.
What's your current poo story?
You know the poo story. So it's so gross. I think I sent you a photo.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I don't know if you were one of the recipients of the photo of the poo, but
I think I was.
I sent it to a number of people. Anyway, it's such a good one. I've actually already told you this poo story before. Last week, I jumped on with Tori DeVito, like at the very beginning of the episode, and I was like, oh my God, and then poo, and there was flying and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this poo story, it really deserves a play-by-play because it might be the most epic poo story that's ever happened to me. It's so funny and so like unbelievable that I'm actually going to rewind and I'm going to give you all the juicy details. So get ready for some grossness. Woo! As you guys know, I was going nuts trying to get my house ready for sale, right?
Yes,
so just packing it all up, and then my car was all haunted and having to get towed, and it was just like one thing after the next. So everything comes in threes. So I was like, all right, what's the next thing? Oh, okay, this is what it is. I get a text message from this really sweet, I really love him. He's such a great guy. But there's been a group of people at my house working to get the land ready for sale.
Yeah.
And they're gardeners. And one of them, who is just so
like,
gorgeous.
How do I not out him?
I know. I was like, there's a massive group. There's like 20 people. So it could be one of 20 people.
Yeah.
That's probably not true. It's definitely not 20 people, but I don't want to say how many. Anyway, whatever. There's a group of people. And one of them was there. At the very end on his own. And I left to go do school pickup. And I was like, oh, and I've always said, like, whenever you need to use the bathroom, like go inside, whatever, drink from a taps, do whatever you need, fill up your water bottles, like have food, take snacks, whatever. So I get a text. From
oh my God
him about I've just landed at school and I'm grabbing the kids and it's like, hey, so I just tried to give you a buzz before, so apologies for the detailed text, sweat emoji. I'm on my way to another job, so I can't sort of stick around. I actually think I clogged your toilet, Although
Oh
I
my
am
God.
assuming, maybe there's an underlying issue like tree roots or something. Do you have a plumber that you normally use? Like, I'm definitely happy to help with the costs. What about a septic? Do you have a septic? Like I could go look through the septic and, I wouldn't be surprised if there's lots of tree roots or something. And I was like, oh my God, don't worry about it. All good. Like I felt sorry for him. First of all, congrats on actually owning up to taking a shit and clogging the toilet.
Sure.
Like I would have done a runner. I could have thought it was my mom. I could have thought it was anyone. One of the kids maybe.
Would. Yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm going to go straight to the toilet when I get home. Like maybe one of the kids clogged it, whatever. So props to him for owning up to clogging the toilet. So I was like, oh my God,
sure.
All good. I got it. Like, I think I know my way around a plunger. So I get there and I'm like, oh, okay, gotta plunge someone else's shit. Like someone I don't know that well. And, I hate plunging poo anyway, but when it's not yours or your family's, you're like, okay, here we go. And I know this is a really weird thing to say, but my whole family's vegan.
Yeah.
So when I plunge, I'm plunging vegan poos. I'm not plunging dead animal poos or like bits of meat from other animals in a poo. So here I am plunging a meaty poo.
Are you sure? Are you sure he's not vegan?
I don't think so. So I start plunging the poo and I'm like, it's going quite well. Like I get a really good rhythm and I'm really going for it. I'm like really putting my back into it. It's like squelching and I finally like have it. All the water's sort of gone down and I was like, oh my God, I think I've done it. And the water was very brown still. And then I'm wearing socks and I suddenly feel this wet feeling in my socks. And I'm like, what the fuck? I look down and the drain in the middle of the floor in the bathroom had popped up a poo. I'm telling you, the size of a fist, the same shape as a fist. Like I'm telling you, like a baseball size poo, that shape, round, pops up like out of the drain, flies out with the pressure, obviously, of me like really going for it. Oh my
God.
And then all this poo water is just all over, through my socks, all over the ground. I scream out loud. I
would have thrown up.
I'm screaming. I take my socks off. I plop them on the floor and I'm tiptoeing out screaming like, oh my God. And it's still like coming up from the drain like blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, I've got to, what? And I go and look. I just look at what had happened and I see this baseball size shit. I'm telling you, Sarah, it is round. I've never seen anything like it. It's a round baseball shit. And so I was like, really weird. My God, I can't re-flush that down the toilet now that it's come out of the drain.
What are you going to do with that?
What am I going to do with it? So I quickly grab gloves. I scoop up the gardener's baseball shit. And I start running, screaming to the door like, Bodhi, open the door. And then I just get outside and my dogs are sitting right there. And I just launch this poo ball, which Oka, my dog, is like, oh, yay. Jumps after the shit into the garden and is like, like finds the poo. So Bodhi and I now scream. We're both screaming. And we're like, Oka, stop. And Oka's like, and it's sort of like disintegrating in her mouth. Obviously, it's not a proper ball. And I'm just like, oh my God. And now it's on my dog's face and it's disgusting. So I go back inside and I'm just looking at the aftermath of this. And I was like, very perplexed about the poo. And then I lock the door and I just slam it shut. Like I'm not going to clear. I just cannot. I was like, we're doing bedtime.
Like, lit a match and threw it in.
I literally just like blew up the bathroom. Goodbye forever.
Bye. I'm out.
I was like, if this isn't a sign from the universe that it's time for me to move on from the house,
leave.
Like, come on. Anyway, but of course I'm like, God damn it. Of course there's something wrong with the bloody plumbing and I'm about to sell the house. I got to get this fixed.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I've got to get it fixed. And then so I ring around really late. It's like now at 9 p.m., like emergency plumbing, anyone, please. And I'm telling the story. I was like, and then my dog ran after the poo.
Oh my God.
And the first woman's just pissing herself laughing. She was like, I feel really sorry for you, but we actually don't have anyone available. And I was like, oh, God damn it. So then I ring this other guy and I was like, oh, please, anything you could do. And he's laughing and he's like, oh, I'll try and get my friend to come out. I'll tell him that it's like just a really easy job and we'll get him out there. And I was like, please, anyone. And he's like, look, I actually can't get anyone there until the morning. And then he rocks up in the morning and I'm like, this is what happened. Just so you know, it was not my poo. Like none of us, it wasn't any of our poos, okay? It was this guy's poo. And then he ends up figuring out what the problem is. Now, the problem, which is even funnier, there's no roots in the drain. He puts the camera down the drain. He's like, no, you've got nothing to worry about, no roots. The shape of the piping means that if someone shits out a cricket ball size shit that's round, it could block it, but most people don't poo like that. So it was because of the shape of the poo that blocked your toilet. It hasn't got to do with any roots at all. It was literally because it was a rounded ball of poo.
That's
that blocked
so
it.
Weird. Like how?
I was like, how did
I can hardly speak. I
took a photo of it.
My stomach. I know. I saw it.
I sent it to my friends because I was like, this is it. This is the culprit. It was the rounded poo. Anyway, let's just hope that this guy doesn't listen to the Mother Daze podcast.
I don't think he does.
But can you imagine how mortifying? Like how mortifying. And we still have like more to do at the garden. He's going to see us again. I was like, what would you do in that position? It's like the fact that he even admitted to it was so sweet.
Admitting to it is so great. I'm not sure. I don't know if I would have admitted. Well,
no,
I don't know.
I would never have said
been
anything.
Trying to fix the toilet, then I might have like been late to the next job trying to like fix the situation. I mean, you and I have both had so many poo situations, but
I know.
I definitely didn't say anything that one time when I like plugged.
You did though. You went and told
the guy's
her.
Toilet. Who?
Oh, that guy. But at the house party, you did. You were like,
yes,
sorry.
I told her.
You were good about that.
No,
I would have also left that one. I would have just left that one brewing. I would have blamed it on another guest.
Well, I also think it was really clear that I was the one going in there to go number 2.
Oh, yeah, you did say, I really need to go to the bathroom.
I was sweating. Like, my shirt was wet. Like, it was just really clear that I had to go to I was like, and now it's like, oh my God, so weird. That toilet I used is broken. No, I had to fix that toilet on my own. Oh my God. That is so, I'm going to need some recovery time after that story because my stomach is in the twirlies. It's in the twirlies.
It's pretty gross. But I was like, oh, that on top of a core. And then the guy from Adelaide Expert Plumbing, huge shout out. His wife was very pregnant. She came along as well. And she was like, she was sitting in there. She was so pregnant. So I was like, talking to her about pregnancy and birth. And he was awesome. He was like, all right, job's all done. And he's like, oh, did you need help cleaning it up? And I was like, yes, please. I'll write you a 5-star review. And he was like, done. So he went in and he cleaned up.
He cleaned it?
Yeah, he cleaned. He says that he sometimes does that and he cleaned it all up. I know.
Oh my God.
I know. And I gave him a 5-star review and I shouted him out on Instagram because he's a new company too. And he was so reasonably priced. I mean, it was still expensive, but way cheaper than any of the other ones. Anyway.
And my dog's taking a number 2 outside right now, right outside the trailer.
Perfect timing.
Okay, great.
Literally
perfect timing. Wow. I just really feel like that's all coming together. You know, the big like crazy full moon was a few nights ago. Did you go outside and like
I did not do anything.
Yeah. I know, me
Did
neither.
you?
I saw
I didn't do any.
that Jessica Alba, I saw that she had on her
Yes.
Instagram that she had like a moon circle.
A
like
full
I was
moon
like,
puja.
we need to do it.
Sent that to me. Yeah. Mark sent me the video of it. And I was like, oh, was there some special super moon or something?
Well,
I missed it.
I just read on, because you were telling me earlier, you were like, okay, I'm feeling really, it's like weighing on me, like the work and like like you're just feeling a little bit down, right?
Well,
so
not down per se, but I was just
down.
like,
okay.
I've always had so much energy. And I just said,
Yes.
I suddenly started feeling like I'm middle-aged. Like I woke up and I was like,
energy
I just used to bounce out of like, woo.
Yeah.
And now it's like, if I don't wake up and have Element, which is my supplement, Lovewell, I don't function the way I was always able to function for so many years on nothing, like no coffee. I've never had coffee in my life. So I was saying to Mark the other day, like, oh, I'm feeling that fatigue, that like not waking up and just about, woo, I have to have something to get that feeling back, which is Element in the morning. Yeah, it's been wild.
I mean, I always have coffee. Like as soon as I wake up, I think about it, and I'm so excited to like get up and do my like routine of making the coffee. And Winter always sits on the like island in the kitchen, and we talk to each other, and it's always like 5:30 in the morning. So I like let the dog out, and like, I'm doing the coffee making, and like she's waking up and all sleepy, and it's like so cute, and it's just like part of the morning routine. But I get that. And I was watching this thing, let me just pull it up as I'm talking about it, but I was watching this thing with Lacey Phillips, who you guys know we love her so much. She is the one who has
to be magnetic.
She's the one who has to be magnetic. She's like the master manifester. And so
she's amazing. And guys, you need to go back and listen to her episode. If you haven't heard it,
yes,
it's one of our best episodes. It's so potent and powerful. And she really breaks down the method to manifesting.
100%. So she starts talking about how she's had this practice for years of cleaning her aura. So I've never heard of this before. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder what that means, like cleaning my aura. The only thing about auras I've ever heard about is like when you go get your aura picture taken. And so you can like see like the colors of your aura. Or when I went to like Laura Lynn Jackson's workshop, she was having us do this exercise where we could try to like see someone's aura. And it was kind of like the light around them, right? So they're like energy light. And I did get to a place in that workshop where I was actually able to see the outline light around someone just by the way that she was like teaching us to do it.
Oh, really?
So, yes. Yeah, which was so cool. I didn't see color. For me, it was just white. I saw white light that was like an outline like this. Yeah.
And
around.
Here's my question. Did you see it on a specific person?
Yes. So I was looking at, so everything has energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Yeah. So I was sort of looking like around, like I looked at Laura and I could see, but you don't look directly at the person. That was sort of like part of the learning experience. You look a little off of the person, and then you sort of start to see this like outline of their, I don't know, just try it. Try looking like a little off of a person, but like sort of trying to not stare directly at them or like at the thing behind them, but you're kind of just like focusing in one place. Try that. And then, so then it's interesting. And I saw like a mic stand, the mic stand that they had there, and the mic stand had this like light coming off of it. And I think energetically they had both been using the mic the whole time. And they had this like aura. So, okay, so she was saying, which I thought this was so cool, and I wanted to tell it to you because she said that when here's 4 signs, this is from Lacey, 4 signs of what I look for. I feel drained, groggy, or stuck in a funk. I've just had a triggering encounter and the energy is lingering. I've caught myself people pleasing or not honoring my boundaries. and I'm about to do some like self-care, and I need to ground into my authenticity.
Cool. I feel like that happens to me a lot. My people pleasing. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You sent me a great thing about that. Was that you that sent me a great thing about people pleasing?
I think
you sent me something amazing on Instagram. You sent me a really good DM on the old gram. You sent me a wicked thing recently.
Okay, so you have to go on her Instagram and write clear on her thing, and then she'll tell you how to do it. So she has this thing called Clear Your Aura DI in the TBM app, and she uses it almost every day. So it's a way for you to like clear your aura in the mornings or when you're feeling these things. And apparently that's when you like get your like energy back. You're like,
oh.
And so when you were telling me that, I was
really
like,
interesting.
Think about how sticky we get, right? We get bogged down.
True.
You get bogged down with like all this stuff, right? Sometimes it's like doing something as simple as like, you know, self-care for yourself. If you like get acupuncture and your energy's flowing, you do a yoga and like all of a sudden you're like sweating and you're in this really great space. We did that breath work class. We felt so grounded and in our bodies in that breath work class. Like after that, you know, but sometimes it's not necessarily like, okay, I'm getting older and these things are weighing on me and I can't handle them anymore. Sometimes it's like we've got sticky, almost like clogged pipes is how my acupuncturist like describes it. It's like you have like sticky energy that needs to be like moved through. And so in acupuncture, my guy would always tell me like, I'm going to do these things to like get the blood flowing more in your body to like help clean the pipes. But it's like, bringing that in, sometimes it's like you feel like a little like stuck or like foggy, like you can't think properly.
I was feeling
or like tired, you know? Yeah,
but
tired.
I'm also like, I look at, because everyone has always said to me like, yeah, like you're an Energizer bunny. And I was like, I know. But just recently it's like, but then I look at and Mark was like, Palmer, you are the lead of a TV show. You are leading an entire group of people. You're being a leader. And I take that role really seriously, not just as a performer, but what it means to be a lead actor and how the way that you engage with people and set the tone for a set with your director, it's like her and I are in the dance of setting the tone for the show in terms of just like the workplace environment and like being positive and happy and upbeat. And so that is like a lot of outward energy, right? Yeah, and then I have that outward energy with my kids. And then my kids are in boxing twice a week and piano lesson and drum lesson and swimming lesson and gym and ballet on the weekends and blah, blah, you know, so many things. And then I'm tending to my pets.
Every reason to be tired.
Yeah. And then Mark was like, babe, this is like normal to feel fatigued when you have this much going on. I was like, yeah, but I don't usually feel fatigued. I can just do it and run on the adrenaline or whatever and feel like a lot of energy. And then I said to him, I was like, oh, I think now I'm middle-aged. And he was like, well, I don't think you technically are. Yeah, you're still in your 30s. He's in his 40s. So he's like, you're still in your 30s. And I was like, I know, I just feel like, wow, there's so much. And even when I sleep, and I sleep really great, even when I sleep and I wake up, I think because there's just always something, like it's up early at work doing, you know, maybe it's editing the Mother Daze, or it's like getting back to an admin thing, then working, like learning my lines, making sure the kids are sorted, you know, and I definitely feel like maybe doing this thing that you said that might be helpful to just make sure I have the stamina to keep all these things up and going for this next period of time. And that's actually a good segue into, I've been really wanting to get pregnant, and I've always been, you know, I've been such a swinging pendulum about the timing of it. And as we know, I got very quickly got pregnant, not trying at all this year. And it was a surprise pregnancy. But that's what made Mark be like, oh my God, I want another baby. So we've been talking
Yes.
about it a lot, and we had our IVF, and that was a really great experience. We had 2 embryos out of that. And then I didn't have the actual physical time to transfer the embryos before I came here to Australia. So we were like, okay, well, let's just pause and let's do one more round of IVF once I'm finished this job here. So in January, let's do one more round of IVF just to make sure we have enough embryos to have 1 or 2 more babies. So that's been the plan. But then there was that mark like, well, why don't we just try naturally for a few months? Like, why don't we just like see what happens? And for us, that's kind of a much bigger medical risk because of the ISO immunization. Because if we get pregnant and it's not a healthy baby, my antibodies will just keep jumping up. And then the next pregnancy, it'll jump up even further, and then there'll be a risk to the baby in utero. So it's not recommended for us to do this, but I did talk to my doctor about it, and he was like, if you are willing to take on the risk, you can give it a go. So we decided we were going to do that. And then Mark didn't quite make it in time. He was in America, so we missed the first month. And then this next month, I started jumping straight into work, and Mark is doing so much work, and the family is just functioning so well, and everyone is so happy, and the kids are loving their school here, and we're in just such a routine. And I've already got so much on my shoulders that I actually like made the smart decision with Mark. I was like, I don't think on top of everything else that we're juggling right now to throw in early weeks of pregnancy and potentially being sick, and then but also having to lead a show being pregnant. I actually like felt really proud of myself that I was like, I think we just wait. Like, I think we just wait. We know we have this coming up in January. And the only thing, like I'm 38, so I still have a few more years left, I think, of being able to have a baby, right?
Right.
The only rush, this whole rush has only been because I get worried about age gaps. But the more I look at my children, the more I'm like, well, Forest and Prairie are 4.5 years apart, and they get on so well. And then Bodhi and Prairie, and that dynamic is so special. And even when I just take the 2 of them out, I was like, the fact that I've let this age gap thing stress me out to the point of being like, well, I've just got to fast track this. This is just, I don't care that we already have those embryos here and we could do IVF in January. Like, I just got to fast track it because of the age gap. I've actually gotten to a place now where I've really, really let that go. And I feel like you've done work on that too, Sarah, about the age gap.
That was the hardest part. That was definitely the hardest part for me, was like knowing with my last pregnancy loss, like that the baby was going to be like, you know,
this many years
3
apart.
years, 9 months or something from winter. And now, like, if, you know, I were to have a baby, it would be like almost 5 years, like from winter, you know, like 4 years something, and then like close to 5 years, you know? So, but I think like what you're saying, the reassurance I've gotten from that and like the letting go of that has been from seeing so many, like, it's nice to be able to see so many age gaps on Instagram or like, you know, in life at school. Like, I have a friend who had a baby. She had like multiple pregnancy losses, and then she did IVF, and then she had a baby while her son was in 4th grade and her other son was in 7th grade, and she had a baby. No children in between. They had wanted to, and I think like maybe waited a few years longer than what, and then decided they wanted to have a 3rd child, but then had multiple losses. And the age gap there is really beautiful and it's unique. And it's like, you know, and I think about Wyatt, he's my oldest, right? He's 11. if I had another one soon, then that age gap would be like almost 12 years. Yeah. And so I think about like, well, what's it going to be like when Wyatt's, this age, and then the baby's like this
20
age. And it's funny, but
totally.
Yeah, but it's so cute. Like, I follow the Stryker sisters online, like on Instagram. They do like hair and makeup and brows, and I did a photo shoot with them with Frida Salvador, and I had no idea, but the youngest sister is 10 years from the middle sister. And
oh my God.
Yeah, their age gap was like 10 years apart. And so,
oh my God, that's so funny. I just saw last night Ballerina Farm. Did you see this? Ballerina Farm and her sister doing makeup tutorials on their on Ballerina Farm's. And then she was like, the sister wrote, I remember being 18 years old, or she was even older, and you were 8 and you were watching me, and it's this massive age gap between these two sisters, and I always see them together and they're best friends and stuff. I feel like the universe keeps showing me examples of like, don't worry about this. And I hung out with another friend in Adelaide who I very rarely hang out with her, and she had a third baby 8 years after her youngest, and I've hung out at her beautiful home with her family, and I saw the age gap, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this dynamic. And so I keep being shown, I think, like, it's okay to take a breath, to pick the right time, to not rush into it, to be ready, and to not, put the pressure on myself of like, I've got to do it now, even though it doesn't make sense because of how big my life is right now and how full my life is right now. And then there's also the part of me that, my friend Susie was over this past weekend, and her daughter's 14 months, and it was exhausting. So like, she's so cute, Peaches. But it was exhausting. Oh my God, because so Peaches can't walk up and down the stairs and can't And so Susie was done by the weekend. She was like, I need to go home to be with my partner. Like, it's so full on to have. She was tired. She was tired, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot. Because even just my youngest being 3 now, the independence that she has compared to having a tiny toddler like that, I was like, oh, wow, I don't have to, I'm not running around chasing them around, worried about them putting things in their mouths. Not like they're just a little gang that go off and hang out, and I have my spare time back. They're doing their own thing. And then I was like, oh my God, the reality of it, like, I want it so much, but then the reality of it is like, oh yeah, I'm back in the trenches. All right, that's right. Like, I'll be doing all of that stuff again. So I also become a swinging pendulum when I think about that too. Like, oh wow, I'm through the sleepless nights, and I'm already out the other side. But I still crave it. But it's an interesting thing, the way the mind works.
Oh, for sure. And I think that I think it's like so good to talk about that with the age gap, because definitely after you and I talked about our losses and stuff on the podcast, so many people wrote us about that being also like one of the things that really got them was like, oh, I'm watching this like age gap slip away. I'm like thinking about, now is it too far? Like, is it, this one's going to be graduating and this one's going to be 5 years below them. And like, is that child going to be so like on their own? And it's funny because I've asked so many people these questions recently that have that age gap, or that, have a sibling that's 10 years older. And they're like, I don't know, it was kind of like great to be the only child all of a sudden. After being like a child of many, I got this time at home with my mom and dad, and it was really special in its own way. And I was like, oh, I've never heard it put like that. Because my brother was like, it was a nightmare. My brother was like, how dare you leave me? He was not because of my parents, but because he was like, I felt abandoned.
That was like, my sibling.
Was so sad. Yeah. I would, we were so tight. So, it was like nice to hear that too. And I think I also, we talked to Emily, the medium, the baby medium.
Yes.
And she told me, like, I remember asking her about winter, and because she told me that this like soul baby that's on the other side has this like connection with winter. And I asked her, like, but I'm watching this like time slip away where like they would have been closer in age, like she would have been in this grade and the baby would have been in this grade, like, like, does that age gap, is that going to affect like what it is that they have, and she said that it didn't matter. Like the soul connection is so strong. Like it doesn't matter if they're 4 years apart or 5 years apart or 6 years apart. Like they're already so connected. They're going to be so connected for life. Like, and I think somewhere inside of me, I already knew that, but like,
yeah,
I really needed
the
it
validation.
Validated. Like I wanted to hear it, from someone.
Totally.
And she was just like, this is not something that you need to think about. And I mean, I think as moms, we do go to that place. So anyway, I'm so glad you brought that topic up because we've had people asking about.
People have been asking, oh my God. I've literally had people slip into the DMs being like, are you pregnant yet? Did you put the embryos in? I was like, no, I haven't. And I've been writing back to people like, no, the plan is in January, I'm going to do it. Anyway, I will obviously keep people updated as I go through it and, all those things. So I'll talk more about it next year. Yay. This is so fun.
Woo! Well, Daisies, I'm so glad we got to do this solo because I haven't seen my girlfriend in a while and I miss her so much. So we got to hang out and chat and catch up. And send us any topics or anything that you guys are like super interested in and want us to chat about. Because it's been a minute since we've done any of our like birth and breastfeeding and any of those topics. And we're happy to like revisit that and talk about all the things and jump into any of that. So we love you, Daisies. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. All right.
Bye. And please leave us a review. It would be awesome if you give us 5 stars, but it's okay. Even 4. We'll take 4. 4's great as well. So
give us 5.
but seriously, give us 5.
Bye. 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 Bye.